It's not that you're late. It's that you stop believing you're allowed to begin again. Right now, someone younger than you is quitting. Someone older than you is starting over. And the only thing separating them is not age, not luck, not talent. It's the courage to face the truth. You tell yourself, if I start now, I'll look stupid. If I change now, people will judge me. If I try again and fail, I won't survive the shame. Marcus Aurelius had a brutal response to that fear. He wrote, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years." In other words, you don't have time to keep negotiating with regret. Starting over isn't a reset button. It's a refusal. A refusal to let yesterday decide who you are today. And if you think it's too late to change your life, Stoicism has one calm, dangerous message for you. You are still alive. So the work is not finished. Stay with me. Part 1, The Lie of Too Late. Let me ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly. Have you ever looked at your life late at night, when everything is quiet, and thought, I should have started earlier? Not out loud, not dramatically, just that quiet sentence in your head. I missed my chance. I waited too long. It's too late now. Pause for a second, take one slow breath in, and let's talk about that sentence. Because that sentence has ruined more lives than failure ever did. Say it with me slowly. It's not that I can't start, it's that I'm afraid to begin again. That fear has a name, and Marcus Aurelius knew it well. Most people think too late is about time. It's not, it's about identity. When someone says it's too late to start over, what they're really saying is, I can't handle being a beginner again. I can't face the shame of admitting I chose wrong. I can't survive the moment where I am no longer who I pretended to be. Stoicism doesn't attack this fear gently. It cuts straight through it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Read that again. Slowly. He wasn't being dark. He was being precise. He was saying, time is not your problem. Delay is. And delay is not caused by age. It is caused by attachment. Pause again. Breathe. Let's dismantle the lie of too late, piece by piece. The lie sounds logical. It says, you're behind. Others are ahead. You should have known better. If you start now, you'll never catch up. And here's the dangerous part. The lie uses facts out of context. Yes, you are older than you were before. Yes, time has passed. Yes, some doors are closed. But Stoicism never asked you to control outcomes. It asked you to control your actions. Marcus Aurelius never said, win every battle. He said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Notice what he didn't say. He didn't say, be one before 30. He didn't say, be one before you fail. He didn't say, be one while it's still impressive. He said, be one now. Say it with me. Now is not late. Now is all there is. Here's something most people don't want to hear. Research from behavioral psychology shows that regret peaks not from failure, but from inaction. A long-term study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people regret what they didn't do nearly twice as much as what they tried and failed at. Twice as much. Why? Because failure ends. But the thought of what if keeps growing. That's why too late feels so heavy. It's not the past hurting you. It's the future accusing you. Marcus understood this centuries ago. He wrote, do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Not because the past doesn't matter, but because the present is the only place where power lives. Pause. Say it with me. Power lives in the present. Let's talk about the real cost of believing it's too late. It's not that you don't start. It's that you slowly lower your standards. You stop expecting discipline from yourself. You tolerate habits you once promised you'd fix. You accept relationships that drain you. You shrink your goals so you don't have to feel disappointed. This is not peace. This is surrender. And Stoicism draws a hard line between the two. Marcus Aurelius warned himself, at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work, as a human being. Not as a motivated person, not as an inspired person, as a human being. Meaning, duty does not wait for the perfect moment. Say it with me. I do not need motivation. I need alignment. You might be thinking, that sounds good, but my situation is different. Good. Let's make it concrete. Imagine two people. Person A is 25, no savings, no skills, no direction, but full of belief. Person B is 45, has failed, lost money, lost confidence, feels embarrassed to start again. Who actually has the advantage? Most people say person A. Stoicism says wrong. Person B has something priceless, clarity. They know what doesn't work. They know what drains them. They know which lies they can no longer afford to believe. Age does not remove potential. It removes illusions. Marcus Aurelius became emperor at 40, after years of study, discipline, and loss. And even then, he wrote his meditations as reminders, not achievements. Pause, breathe. Say it with me. Experience is not a weight. It is leverage. Now let me tell you a short story. A man writes, I'm 39. I hate my job. I want to change, but it feels ridiculous to start from zero. So I ask him one question. Would you rather be 40 and 1 year into the right direction, or 40 and exactly where you are now? Silence. Because the math is brutal. In 5 years, you will be 5 years older no matter what. The only question is, will those 5 years include change or excuses? Marcus Aurelius said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Apply that to your inner dialogue. Is it true that it's too late? Or is it just safer to believe that than to risk effort? Say it with me. Comfort lies. Discipline tells the truth. Here's a practical Stoic exercise. Do this tonight. Take a piece of paper. Write this sentence at the top. If I had to start over today, what would matter most? Not what would impress others. Not what would fix everything. What would matter most? Then write 3 things. 1 habit to stop, 1 habit to start, 1 standard to hold. That's it. Stoicism doesn't rebuild lives in a day. It rebuilds direction. Pause. Breathe. Before we end this part, I want you to hear this clearly. Starting over is not a dramatic comeback. It's a quiet refusal to keep betraying yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Sometimes the enemy is your old self, the version of you that delayed, avoided, and negotiated. And here's the truth most people never hear. It is not too late to start over, but it does become too late when you stop choosing yourself. Say it with me one last time. I am not late, I am beginning. And in the next part, we're going deeper, because knowing that it's not too late is not enough. You need a discipline strong enough to survive doubt, boredom, and fear. In part 2, we step into the mind of Marcus Aurelius himself, not as an emperor, but as a man learning again and again how to begin. Stay with me. Part 2, Marcus Aurelius and the discipline of beginning again. Before we go any further, I want you to pause. Take a slow breath in and another one out, because this part is not about motivation. It's about discipline. And discipline is the difference between people who restart their lives and people who keep watching videos about restarting their lives. Say it with me. Knowing is not enough. I must practice. Marcus Aurelius would insist on that. Most people imagine Marcus Aurelius as a finished product, a marble statue, calm, wise, unshakable. That image is comforting and completely misleading. Marcus Aurelius was not born disciplined. He trained it. He doubted himself constantly. He felt anger, fatigue, grief, fear. He lost children. He ruled during plagues. He fought wars he did not want. And yet every morning he began again. Not because he felt strong, but because he understood something most people miss. You do not rise to the level of your intentions. You fall to the level of your daily discipline. Pause, breathe. Marcus did not write meditations to inspire the world. He wrote them to correct himself. That matters, because it means Stoicism is not a philosophy for people who have it together. It is a system for people who don't. One of his most honest lines is this: do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. That is not poetic optimism. That is pressure. He is reminding himself, stop postponing the work. Stop waiting to become ready. Stop negotiating with weakness. Say it with me. Later is a lie, my mind tells me. Let's talk about beginning again. Most people think starting over requires courage. It doesn't. It requires obedience. Obedience to reality, obedience to duty, obedience to the next small action. Marcus Aurelius never chased reinvention. He chased alignment. He asked himself one question repeatedly: what does my role demand of me right now? Not what feels fair, not what feels exciting, not what would impress others, just what is required. This is the Stoic Restart mindset. Pause, breathe, say it with me. I do what is required, not what is comfortable. Here's a hard truth. The reason starting over feels overwhelming is because you imagine the entire journey at once. Your brain sees the distance and panics. Stoicism solves this by shrinking time. Marcus wrote, "Do not let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason." Notice the word weapons. Discipline is not soft, it is protective. So instead of asking, "Can I rebuild my life?" ask, "Can I handle the next hour?" Research backs this up. Behavioral science shows that breaking goals into immediate, controllable actions increases follow-through by over 70% compared to outcome-based planning. Meaning, stop planning the comeback, start executing the next step. Say it with me. 1 hour is manageable. Marcus Aurelius understood something about the human mind that modern psychology confirms. We are not changed by insight. We are changed by repetition. That's why discipline must be boring. The boring walk, the boring workout, the boring savings habit, the boring practice of restraint. Marcus wrote, "Apply yourself to what is in front of you, like a Roman," meaning do the work, properly, without drama. Pause, breathe. Let's make this real. Imagine Marcus Aurelius waking up before sunrise, not to journal inspirational quotes, but to prepare his mind for resistance. He reminds himself, "Today I shall meet busybody, the ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, unsocial." This is not pessimism, this is preparation. Starting over fails when you expect ease. It succeeds when you expect friction. Say it with me. I expect resistance, and I proceed anyway. Here is where most people collapse. They start again. And the first discomfort feels like proof they were right to wait. Stoicism says the opposite. Discomfort is confirmation. It means you left the old pattern. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Not eventually, immediately. The obstacle is not a sign to stop. It is the training ground. Pause, breathe. Let's talk data. Studies on habit formation show that identity-based habits last significantly longer than outcome-based ones. When people say, "I am the kind of person who trains daily," compliance rates double compared to, "I want to get fit." Marcus lived this. He did not say, "I will rule well someday." He said, "I am a man who practices justice today." Say it with me. I act from identity, not hope. Here is your Stoic discipline exercise for this part. Write down your restart identity. One sentence. I am the kind of person who, even when it's uncomfortable, not 5 habits, not a vision board, one sentence. Read it every morning for 7 days. This is not affirmation. This is conditioning. Pause, breathe. Now I want to address something uncomfortable. Many people secretly want to restart without consequences. They want growth without humility, progress without being seen as inexperienced. Marcus Aurelius would call this self-deception. He wrote, "If you seek tranquility, do less," or more precisely, do what's essential. Doing what's essential often means letting go of status. Beginning again strips you of titles and gives you something better: integrity. Say it with me. I choose integrity over image. Let me tell you a short story. A woman writes, "I'm starting over at 50. I feel invisible." I ask her, "Would you rather be invisible and disciplined or visible and miserable?" Silence. Marcus Aurelius never asked to be admired. He asked to be useful. That's the Stoic pivot. Usefulness beats recognition every time. Pause, breathe. Here is the discipline rule Marcus lived by. Never break the chain of self-respect. Some days the chain is strong. Hard work, clear decisions, courage. Some days the chain is light. Saying no, showing up, not quitting. But you do not break it. Because the moment you do, the old identity rushes back in. Say it with me. I protect my self-respect daily. As we close this part, understand this. Starting over is not about fixing the past. It is about earning trust with your future self. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." That strictness is not cruelty, it is care. And in the next part, we will expose the illusion that makes you feel behind everyone else. Because once you break that illusion, speed returns. In part 3, we confront comparison, age anxiety, and the false timelines destroying your momentum. Stay with me. Part 3, why you feel behind and why it's an illusion. Before we begin this part, pause with me. Take a slow breath in, hold it for a moment, and let it go. Because this part will confront something uncomfortable. Not your circumstances, not your past, your perception. Say it with me. Feeling behind is not a fact, it is a story. And stories can be rewritten. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. Most people don't actually fall behind in life. They decide they are behind. And once that decision is made, everything else follows. Motivation drops, energy leaks, discipline feels pointless. Why try if you're already late? But Stoicism begins by questioning impressions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Read that again. He's saying your suffering is not caused by reality. It's caused by the meaning you attach to reality. Pause, breathe. Say it with me. I suffer more from my judgments than from my circumstances. Let's expose the 3 illusions that create the feeling of being behind. Illusion 1, the timeline illusion. You believe life has a schedule. Graduate by this age, earn by this age, marry by this age, succeed by this age. And if you miss it, you're late forever. This idea feels natural, but it is historically false. Marcus Aurelius did not write meditations in his youth. He wrote them later, during war, disease, and exhaustion. Viktor Frankl found meaning after surviving camps. Colonel Sanders franchised KFC in his 60s. Ray Kroc scaled McDonald's at 52. These are not exceptions. They are reminders. History does not reward early starters. It rewards persistent ones. Say it with me. There is no universal timeline. Modern psychology confirms this. Studies on adult neuroplasticity show that the brain remains capable of forming new neural connections well into old age. In some areas, like emotional regulation and strategic thinking, older adults outperform younger ones. So when you say, "I'm too old," what you really mean is, "I'm afraid to learn again." Marcus Aurelius never confused fear with truth. He wrote, "Do not let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole." In other words, stop looking at the entire mountain. Look at the next step. Pause. Breathe. Illusion 2. The comparison. Illusion, you feel behind because you are measuring yourself against people you don't actually know. Their highlight reels, their filtered successes, their silent struggles hidden behind confidence. Marcus Aurelius warned against this trap centuries before social media existed. He wrote, "How much time he saves who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does." Comparison drains twice. First, it steals your joy. Then, it steals your momentum. And the cruelest part? You compare your inner chaos to someone else's public order. Say it with me. Comparison is a tax on progress. Here's a statistic that matters. Research shows that people who frequently compare themselves to others experience higher levels of anxiety and lower persistence on long-term goals. Why? Because comparison replaces effort with judgment. Instead of asking, "What can I do today?" you ask, "Why am I not them?" Marcus Aurelius never asked to be anyone else. He asked to be better than his former self. Say it with me. My only rival is yesterday. Pause. Breathe. Illusion 3. The speed illusion. You believe progress should be fast. If change doesn't happen quickly, you assume it isn't working. This illusion destroys more restarts than failure ever could. Stoicism rejects speed. It values direction. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Constantly regard the universe as one living being. Growth is organic, uneven, invisible before it becomes undeniable." Think about this. A bamboo plant grows underground for years before it breaks the surface. When it does, it appears sudden. But the work was happening all along. Say it with me. Slow progress is still progress. Now let's talk about shame, because shame is the fuel behind the illusion of being behind. You are not just afraid of failing, you are afraid of being seen starting again. Marcus Aurelius addressed this directly. He wrote, "Be content to seem what you really are. Not impressive, not advanced, real." Starting over feels humiliating only if your identity depends on appearance. Stoicism frees you from that trap. Say it with me. I choose truth over performance. Pause. Breathe. Let me tell you a story. A man says, "All my friends are ahead. I feel left behind." So I ask him, "Are they living your life or theirs?" Silence. Because being behind only exists if you're running someone else's race. Marcus Aurelius never compared his path to another emperor's. He compared his actions to his values. That is the Stoic standard. Say it with me. I run my own race. Here's a practical Stoic reframe. Instead of asking, "Am I behind?" ask, "Am I aligned?" Alignment beats speed every time. Data backs this up. Studies on long-term fulfillment show that people who prioritize value alignment over rapid success report higher life satisfaction, even if their external progress appears slower. Why? Because aligned effort compounds. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nothing has such power to broaden the mind as the ability to investigate systematically everything that comes under your observation. That includes yourself." Pause. Breathe. Stoic exercise breaking the illusion. Do this now or tonight. Write down 3 lists. List 1. What I think I should have achieved by now. List 2. What I have actually learned. List 3. What I am capable of doing next. You will notice something shocking. List 2 is longer than you thought. List 3 is more actionable than you feared. That gap between expectation and reality? That's the illusion. Say it with me. I am not behind. I am positioned. Now let's reset the nervous system for a moment. Inhale slowly, exhale fully. Because feeling behind is not just mental, it's physiological. Your body interprets comparison and urgency as threat. Stoicism teaches you to slow the body so the mind can lead again. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily, not through meditation apps, through deliberate attention. Say it with me. I slow down to regain control. Here's the deepest truth of this part. You are not late to life. You are early to clarity. Most people never reach the point where they question their path. They stay busy, distracted, numb. Feeling behind is often the first sign that you are waking up. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Your discomfort is not a verdict, it's a signal. Say it with me. Discomfort is information. As we close this part, lock this into memory. Being behind is an illusion created by false timelines, false comparisons, and false urgency. Once you see the illusion, speed returns. Not frantic speed, focused speed. In part 4, we will translate everything you've learned into a clear Stoic Restart Protocol. Step by step. No motivation required, only action. Stay with me. Part 4, the Stoic Restart Protocol. Before we begin this part, pause. Take a slow breath in, hold it, and let it go. Because this is where everything becomes real. Up to now, we have cleared illusions. We have challenged false timelines. We have reclaimed perspective. But insight without structure collapses. Marcus Aurelius knew this. Stoicism is not something you agree with. It is something you practice. Say it with me. Clarity without action is self-deception. This part is the Stoic Restart Protocol. Not theory, not inspiration, a system, a way to rebuild your life without drama, without burnout, and without waiting for confidence. Marcus Aurelius never waited to feel ready. He acted according to principle. He wrote, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Notice the order. Identity first, action second, not emotion, not motivation. Pause, breathe. Step 1, draw the line. Every real restart begins with a line. Not a goal, not a plan, a line. Marcus Aurelius drew this line every morning. He reminded himself that today mattered, regardless of yesterday. He wrote, "Begin the morning by saying to thyself, I shall meet with busybody, the ungrateful, arrogant." Why? Because drawing the line means you stop being surprised by reality. You stop negotiating with what you already know is wrong. Here is your line. Write this sentence exactly as it is. From today forward, I no longer argue with what I know I must do. This is not a promise to succeed. It is a refusal to delay. Say it with me. I stop negotiating. Pause. Breathe. Step 2, stabilize before you optimize. Most people restart incorrectly. They try to improve everything at once. Health, money, career, relationships, mindset. The result is overload, then collapse. Stoicism chooses stability first. Marcus Aurelius ruled during chaos, yet his writings are calm because his inputs were controlled. He wrote, "If you seek tranquility, do less, or more precisely, do what is essential." Your task is not to fix your whole life. Your task is to stop the bleeding. Identify one leak, one habit draining your energy, one behavior sabotaging momentum, one expense creating anxiety, one relationship consuming focus. Just one. Plug it for 7 days, not forever. 7 days. Research shows that short, defined commitments dramatically increase follow-through. Say it with me. I stabilize before I expand. Pause, breathe. Step 3, build the 2-block day. Marcus Aurelius did not believe in motivation. He believed in structure. So we borrow his logic. Every Stoic restart needs a 2-block day. Block 1, the duty block. This is the non-negotiable, the thing you do regardless of mood. It might be work, training, learning, repair. Marcus Aurelius would call this appropriate action. Not heroic, not impressive, necessary. Block 2, the growth block, 30 minutes. Reading, skill building, physical training, writing, reflection. 30 minutes sounds small, but data shows that consistent daily learning compounds faster than sporadic intensity. In 1 year, 30 minutes a day equals over 180 hours of growth. Say it with me. I build quietly. Pause. Breathe. Step 4. Lower the bar. Raise the standard. This is the paradox that saves you. Lower the bar for starting. Raise the standard for continuing. Most people do the opposite. They set massive goals, then quit when discomfort appears. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Concentrate every minute like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you. Not perfectly, but properly." Your new rule is this. Never miss twice. Miss one day, accept it. Return the next. Stoicism does not demand perfection. It demands return. Say it with me. I return without drama. Pause. Breathe. Step 5. Become a beginner on purpose. This is where ego dies. Starting over means you will be bad at something again. Awkward, slow, unimpressive. Marcus Aurelius warned himself about pride constantly. He wrote, "Do not be ashamed of help. Being a beginner is not weakness, it is training." Psychology confirms this. People who consciously adopt a beginner's mindset show higher resilience and faster skill acquisition. Why? Because they expect friction. Say it with me. I choose growth over pride. Pause. Breathe. Step 6. Track the only score that matters. Stop tracking outcomes, money, status, praise. Track compliance. Did you keep your standard today? Yes or no? Marcus Aurelius judged himself by effort, not applause. He wrote, "If you have done your work well, why expect more?" Your scoreboard is simple. Did I act in alignment with my values today? That's it. Say it with me. My standard is my score. Pause. Breathe. Step 7. Protect the night rest is part of discipline. Most people sabotage their restart at night. Endless scrolling, rumination, escapism. Marcus Aurelius prepared his mind at night as carefully as he did in the morning. He knew tomorrow's discipline depends on tonight's restraint. Your rule: no inputs 1 hour before sleep. No arguments, no comparisons, no noise. Just recovery. Say it with me. I guard my energy. Pause, breathe. Now let me tell you the hardest truth. This protocol will feel boring. No fireworks, no instant transformation, but boring systems build extraordinary lives. Marcus Aurelius did not change Rome overnight. He governed himself daily, and that was enough. Here is your Stoic Restart commitment. Read this slowly. I accept that rebuilding is quiet. I accept that progress is uneven. I accept that discipline comes before confidence. And I commit to acting anyway. Pause, breathe. As we close this part, understand this. You do not need more information. You need consistency. And consistency is built by identity. In part 5, we will lock this restart into something permanent. Not habits, not goals, identity. The kind of person who does not quit on themselves again. Stay with me. Part 5. Identity, commitment, and the quiet comeback. Before we begin the final part, pause with me. Take a slow breath in, hold it, and release it. Because what you are about to hear is not advice. It is a decision. Say it with me. I am no longer experimenting with my life. Marcus Aurelius would approve of that sentence. Everything you have heard so far means nothing without identity. Habits fade. Motivation evaporates. Plans collapse. But identity endures. Marcus Aurelius understood this better than anyone. That is why he did not write goals. He wrote reminders of who he chose to be. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Notice the finality, not try, not explore. Be, pause, breathe. Most people fail at starting over because they treat it like a project, a phase, a season, a temporary correction. Stoicism treats it as a return to nature, to your nature as a thinking, choosing, responsible human being. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is not encouragement. It is a boundary. You control your character, nothing else. Say it with me. My character is my responsibility. Let's talk about the quiet comeback. Not the loud one, not the one announced online, not the one that seeks validation. The quiet comeback is invisible at first. It looks like saying no when no one is watching, showing up on days that feel pointless, acting with discipline when no reward is promised. Marcus Aurelius never celebrated these moments. He simply lived them. He wrote, "Do every act of your life as if it were the last." Not dramatically, but deliberately. Pause, breathe. Here is where identity locks in. You stop asking, "How do I change?" And you start asking, "What does someone like me do next?" Someone like you. Someone who does not quit when unseen, does not negotiate with weakness, does not need applause to continue. This is Stoic identity. Say it with me. I act from who I am, not how I feel. Psychology confirms this. Identity-based behavior change is significantly more durable than outcome-based change. When people see discipline as who they are, relapse rates drop dramatically. Marcus Aurelius lived this truth intuitively. He didn't wake up asking if he felt like being just. He woke up committed to being just. Say it with me. Commitment replaces motivation. Pause, breathe. Now let's talk about self-trust. Starting over fails when you do not trust yourself, and you don't rebuild trust with promises, you rebuild it with evidence. Small actions, repeated daily, without exception. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Integrity is the foundation of identity. Every time you keep your word to yourself, self-trust grows. Every time you break it, the old identity regains power. Say it with me. I keep my word to myself. Pause. Breathe. Here is your final Stoic exercise. This is not optional. Write the sentence and complete it. No matter what happens, I am the kind of person who eats started. Choose carefully. This sentence becomes your anchor. Read it every morning. Live it every night. Marcus Aurelius anchored himself the same way. Not with affirmations, with principles. Now let's confront the fear that remains. What if I fail again? Stoicism answers calmly. Then you begin again. Marcus Aurelius did not demand perfection from himself. He demanded return. He wrote, When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, meaning expect difficulty. Proceed anyway. Failure does not disqualify you. Quitting does. Say it with me. I return without shame. Pause. Breathe. Here is the deepest truth of the entire series. It was never about being late. It was about being asleep. And now you are awake. Awake to your responsibility. Awake to your agency. Awake to the fact that no one is coming to save you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and the quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your actions." This is the Stoic awakening. As we close, let this sink in. Starting over is not a single event. It is a permanent stance, a refusal to drift, a refusal to decay quietly, a refusal to abandon yourself. You are not late. You are called. Called to discipline. Called to clarity. Called to live deliberately. Say it with me, slowly, one last time. I begin, and I do not turn back. Final CTA series close. If this series helped you see your life more clearly, act now. Like this video so this message reaches others who feel stuck. Subscribe to Making Life Better for Stoic tools that strengthen your mind and rebuild your life. And now comment one word, return. Not for me, for yourself. Because the Stoics believed one thing above all else. You do not need a new life. You need to live the one you have properly. Before you scroll away, listen carefully. This matters. If this video hit you, it's not because you're weak. It's because you're awake. Awake enough to realize the life you're living is not the life you respect. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." And thoughts don't change by accident, they change by practice. Stoics didn't wait for motivation. They trained discipline. They chose calm over chaos, action over excuses, progress over regret. If you want Stoic tools you can actually use in real life, not quotes to save, but principles to live by, subscribe to Making Life Better. And now comment one word, reset, not for the algorithm, for yourself.